Is your team winning in week 7 of the 2025 NFL season? I think I have the answers, so let's go ahead and dive on into my week 7 NFL predictions. Before we do, let's take a quick look over here at our standings so far this season. Me and my dad are tied for first at 59, 33, and 1. ChatGPT is 4 games behind at 55, 37, and 1. My weekly predictions is 2 games behind that at 53, 39, and 1. And yeah, we don't talk about Grok over there at 50, 42, and 1. He's kind of off in La La Land. All right, kicking things off here with the Pittsburgh mother-loving Steelers going into Cincinnati tonight, Thursday Night Football, to take on the Bengals, aka the Bungles. Now, this game, there's a lot of people in Pittsburgh that are feeling the, I don't know about this, it spells trap game, I smell a trap game. I don't think so. The Bengals offensive line is that of wet tissue paper with a less than mobile quarterback in the pocket. Yeah, Flacco's had his moments, but like, come on. When you're coming up against the pass rush of Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig, TJ Watt, and Cam Hayward, and occasionally Patrick Queen, forget about it. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers winning in big fashion. My way too early predictions has the Steelers. My dad's taking the Steelers. ChatGPT is taking the Steelers, and Grok is taking the Pittsburgh Steelers with a high level of confidence. All right, now we're going to head over across the pond to where the Los Angeles Rams are taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars, with the Jaguars being the home team. Well, I mean, London is kind of their second home. This game is really going to be a fun one. I think the biggest key for the Rams is special teams. Can the special teams step it up? They have not been stepping up all season. That's the reason they have 2 losses, is purely on the special teams. So that being said, I do think the special teams does come up big. I think the Rams get the win. My weekly predictions has the Rams. My dad has the Rams. ChatGPT has the Jaguars, and Grok has the Los Angeles Rams with a medium level of confidence. All right, now moving on to the 1 p.m. slate of games, we got the New Orleans Saints going to Chicago to take on the Bears. This game, I mean, let's be real here. The Saints have not really been looking good. They have not been looking like it. The Bears over the last couple weeks have been getting better and better and better. So I think that Chicago will get the win. I don't think they sniff a playoff spot, but I did take the Chicago Bears. My weekly predictions has the Bears. My dad has the Bears. ChatGPT has the Bears. And Grok has the New Orleans Saints for whatever reason with a medium level of confidence. Up next, we got the Miami Dolphins going to the Factory of Sadness itself, Cleveland, Ohio, to take on the Browns. But let it be known, this week it should not be the Factory of Sadness. I am taking the Cleveland Browns in this one. The Browns have just been looking like a good team defensively, and the Dolphins have been struggling. I think the Browns can realistically hold the Dolphins to 10 points or less. And if the Browns can do that offensively, they have a chance to put up maybe 13 points, maybe 14, maybe 17 to get a win. I think they do it. My weekly predictions has the Miami Dolphins. My dad has the Cleveland Browns. ChatGPT has the Cleveland Browns, and Grok has the Miami Dolphins at a high level of confidence. All right, is this even a game here? The New England Patriots going over to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Let's be real here. Tennessee, they just fired their head coach. They're not in a good spot. They're going to be sellers at the trade deadline. The Patriots, Drake May is looking incredible this season. That team is really starting to gel. I do think they're going to be fighting for the AFC East, considering how the Bills have been struggling this year. That being said, I got the Patriots. My weekly predictions has the Patriots. My dad has the Patriots. ChatGPT has the Patriots. And Grok is taking the New England mother-loving Patriots with a high level of confidence. Up next, we get the Las Vegas Raiders going to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. This one will be a fun one. The question is, can the Raiders put up a bit of a fight? And that, I'm not sure. The Chiefs have really been looking like they are back. They looked like they were out of it the first few weeks, but now they look like they are definitively back in this season. So that being said, I am taking the Chiefs. My weekly predictions has the Chiefs. My dad has the Chiefs. ChatGPT has the Chiefs, and Grok has the Chiefs as well with a high level of confidence. Up next, we got the Zadarius Smithless Eagles going to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. This will be an interesting one, as Philadelphia has had their fair of struggles, and their pass rush now has just lost a strong opponent that they had, who was doing, not too bad. I mean, yeah, he wasn't having a great season, but Zadarius Smith was actually kind of holding up to where he, doing what he needed to do. Not to mention, he has the potential to always pop off. He's always a threat to go off. And now they're going to be going without him to Minnesota after his sudden retirement to take on the Vikings, who have been a bit lackluster, but under Wentz started to get a little bit of a comeback. That being said, though, I'm not sure how this game will end up faring. I am taking the Eagles. I think they're the safer bet, but it's going to be close. My weekly predictions has the Eagles. My dad has the Eagles. ChatGPT has the Vikings, and Grok has the Eagles with a medium level of confidence. Up next, we got another fun one here. The Carolina Panthers, who have sucked outside of North Carolina, going to New York to take on the Jets, who have been an absolute train wreck. Aaron Glenn just does not know how to head coach. He doesn't know how to manage a clock. He doesn't have any game plan. He is just a complete train wreck of a coach this season. I hope he gets better, but he's just not been looking great. But remember, Carolina has sucked away from North Carolina, and the Jets are due for a win at some point. This team is not 0-17 bad, so they're going to get a win, and I think this is where they do it. This is their best chance to get a win, in my opinion. So I am taking the Jets to win this one. My way to early predictions took the Jets. My dad took the Panthers, ChatGPT took the Panthers, and Grok took the Carolina Panthers at a medium level of confidence. Up next, we got the New York Giants going to Denver to take on the Broncos and Cam Scatterboo. Oh my word, this dude is a gem, but I don't think they can do it. The Broncos are just the better team, in my opinion. They have been having their ups and downs, but they are really good when they want to be good. So that being said, I think the Denver Broncos, led by Bo Nix, are just going to overwhelm Jackson Dart and the Giants. Is it possible they can keep it close? Don't get me wrong. If we're taking against the spread, Denver's 7.5-point favorites. I'm taking the Giants against that spread right now. But I think moneyline-wise, the Broncos do get the win over the Giants. My Wagers predictions has the Broncos. My dad has the Broncos. My ChatGPT has the Broncos, and Grok has the Denver Broncos at a high level of confidence. Up next, we got the Los Angeles Chargers at home, getting ready to take on the mother-loving Colts and Indiana Jones. Oh boy, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a fun one. Unfortunately, we can't watch it. We don't get that game, but it's going to be awesome. It is going to be, I expect, a high-scoring game. I'm talking like maybe 50, 55 points. Both teams just going down, trouncing touchdowns like it's nothing. That being said, though, I do think that the Colts do keep their magic going. They do get the win, in my opinion. My weekly predictions has the Colts. My dad is taking the Chargers. ChatGPT is taking the Colts, and Grok is taking the Colts, but only with a low level of confidence. Up next, we got the Washington Commies going down to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys losing to the Panthers last week? How about them Cowboys? But again, Washington has been up and down. They haven't really been convincing me. The Cowboys have been an offensive juggernaut. They just don't have a defense. If only that team had a defense, maybe a pass rusher like, I don't know, Micah Parsons would have been a really good fit. It's unfortunate they never had him. But yeah, the Cowboys, just no defense. They got to win games on offense. They got to average 35 points a game if they want to keep on winning. And I think they can do it. They have the potential. They're averaging close to 30, if I'm not mistaken. And the Commies just have not been looking great offensively. There's been a lot left to be desired. So that being said, I am taking the Dallas Cowboys. My weekly predictions is taking the Dallas Cowboys. My dad's taking the Cowboys. ChatGPT is taking the Cowboys, and Grok is taking the Cowboys with a medium level of confidence. All right, we got the Green Bay Packers now going to Arizona to take on the Cardinals here, who have not been looking good. They were a solid team to start the year, and then they have been on a bit of a skid. But again, I don't think this skid stops here. Green Bay is just looking absolutely great, absolutely strong. You know, apart from their one game against the Browns and the game they tied with the Cowboys, I really feel like the Packers are really going to be a strong team to beat. They have been proving it this year as well. That being said, I do think they are the way better team than the Cardinals, so I am taking the Packers. My weekly predictions has the Packers. My dad has the Packers. ChatGPT has the Packers, and Grok has the Packers as well, with a high level of confidence. All right, now we get to Sunday Night Football. The Atlanta Falcons taking on the San Francisco 49ers. I really want the Niners to lose. The Falcons coming off a big win on Monday night. But let's be real here. San Francisco's been finding ways to pull out games like it's nothing. And I don't know. I really want the Niners to lose. But unfortunately, I do think the Niners are the better team. Atlanta's going to keep it close, don't get me wrong. But I think at the very end, you know, San Francisco gets either a big turnover, a big field goal, a big play, something to turn the tide in their favor to get the win. So I am taking the Niners. My weekly predictions is taking the Falcons. My dad's taking the Niners. ChatGPT is taking the Niners. And Grok is taking the Niners with a high level of confidence. Now we're moving on to the Monday doubleheader, leading things off with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Detroit to take on the Lions. And man, this is gonna be a fun one, won't it? That being said, though, the Lions have had their fair share of struggles this year. So I don't know how I feel about the Lions on this one. I think that Tampa Bay really is riding a lot of momentum. Baker Mayfield had a very strong performance last week, especially considering who he didn't have to throw the ball to. So that being said, I do think Tampa Bay keeps the roll going and gets the win. My weekly predictions has the Lions. My dad has the Lions. ChatGPT has the Lions, and Grok has the Lions at a medium level of confidence. Now, before we get into this last pick, real quick, at the end of the video, I will go through my streaming schedule. We are live with an AI chatbot every week. We always cover games, so stay tuned over there at the end of this pick so you can see when I'll be live this week. But we are going to end things off here with the Houston Texans going to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. This game is, I'm going to say it's going to be probably a less than stellar game. Houston has had their ups and downs, don't get me wrong. They have had their really high highs, but they've also had very low lows. That being said, I do think Seattle is vastly the better team right now. So I am taking the Seattle Seahawks. My Week Early Predictions is taking the Texans. My dad's taking the Seahawks. ChatGPT is taking the Seahawks. And Grok is taking the Seahawks at a medium level of confidence. Alright, before we get into the streaming schedule for this week, I want to hear from you guys. Let me know down in the comments below who you guys have winning. Who's your biggest upset this week? I respond to every comment I get, so I want to hear from you guys, and I want you guys to test me on that. Now, as for the streaming schedule this week, you can see it over here posted, but for Week 7, I will be live tonight, the day this video goes live, for Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. For the second half, roughly about 9:30 Eastern, give or take. Again, on the 19th, we'll be live for a Sunday afternoon, just a long haul stream with the Eagles and Vikings, and then the Commanders and Cowboys with red zone updates around the league, starting at 1 p.m. And then we'll be live for Sunday Night Football around 8:15 for Falcons-Niners. And then Monday Night Football, we're going to do both games, one into the other. Tampa Bay, Detroit, and Houston, Seattle, beginning around 8 p.m. I know it's after the start time, but I do have something that might lead me till 8. So, yeah. Alright, well, that is going to do it for me today. If you guys did enjoy, don't forget to smash like and subscribe, as we are on the road to 250 subscribers. But as of recording this, we are only 2 subscribers away from hitting 230. So if we could hit that with this video, that would be absolutely incredible. I am forever grateful to you guys, and I hope to catch you guys on my streams this weekend. Peace out, and have a good one.